What's going on, guys? Seth and Chevy here. We just watched episode 18 of season 1 of Delicious in Dungeon. We'll be talking full spoilers ahead, so hopefully you've watched this episode. And we'll do a real quick recap. This episode was pretty crazy. So they are continuing their journey down the stairs to the 6th floor, right? Mm-hmm. And it has been rearranged. They've been down here before, but now it is basically cold and snowing. And while they discuss... King Delgul, he's the first king or whatever.
Yeah.
And how the Mad Mage is basically looking for him, and how when they first discovered the dungeon, he turned to dust. They're discussing that. A blizzard starts, and they try to link hands while trying to get through it, and some extra hands are showing up and some extra voices. They seek shelter. They find what seems to be some old prison or something. And when they turn the lights on, there's now a bunch of them, different versions, in very different looking interpretations of each other. Each one has, what, 4? There's 4 of each at first?
Yeah, 1 real, 3 fake.
Yeah. And this is based off of how they see each other, which how we're talking about before we start filming is both insulting in some ways and also really spiced up Senshi in one of his forms. And yeah, so with some early quick deduction, they kind of figure out that these are shapeshifters, and some of them are obviously not the real versions of themselves. The Laos ones are really easy to figure out. They're all ridiculous looking. One guy's eyes are all over the place. The other one's like 10 feet tall.
Which means the 3 do not see him in a very positive light.
Yeah. And so they put those in a cell. Also, it's worth mentioning, they said that shapeshifters, where he's from, Laos is from, will turn into how people look and then eat them. They'll devour them.
Yeah, wait until they're alone and then eat them.
Yeah. So kind of an elaborate plan, the way they're going about it, but they're trying. So they end up putting the Laoses away, and then while they're still trying to figure this out via deduction, there's some very obvious copies here from our perspective, but they're struggling on some of them. They start kicking some out. There's the Marcel one that looks like it's straight out JoJo. That they kick off, and then some pretty subtle ones with Chilchuck, but
the Senshi one had an undamaged helmet.
Yeah, that's one, even though the other one is so obvious, but they just look right past him. Anyway, we're left with Laos looking at pairs of each of the other members. He has them cook while he watches them and tries to observe their behaviors and how they act and what they say to try to deduce who the real one is. While they're doing that, people are doing things that are kind of trying to throw us off as the viewer, throw Laos off. People are arguing. Chilchuck is asking Laos to open a jar for him. The 2 Senshis, the very handsome Senshi and the normal Senshi, are doing their thing. And then, yeah, they make food, and Laos basically says who he thinks the real ones of each one are. In this moment where he's got it kind of narrowed down, the shapeshifters decide they need to defend themselves, and so everybody starts fighting each other, which was warned about earlier. He said that shapeshifters won't attack you unless they get attacked first, and so they're doing that now because they feel under threat. And yeah, while it's happening, Laos has this great plan that there's got to be the main monster somewhere that's waiting for them, and he is going to make the hunter feel hunted, and he summons his dog self and gets on all fours and starts barking down the hall. And that makes the shapeshifters all dissolve into leaves, and then the actual monster reveals itself, some kind of weird...
like a nine-tailed fox almost.
Wolf fox thing. Laos is so in character, as he says later, that he just leaps at the thing, ready to do battle, and while everybody is just going crazy, Marcel just nukes him. And blows up
with the most like, what are we doing face.
Yeah, exactly. She's like, what the fuck is going on? And so she just shoots the thing, takes its head off, And yeah, they're just all. Well, no. So they go to eat the food, and it's also leaves.
Right. 'Cause
So
they cooked with fake food.
yeah, I was like, what am I missing here? And so they decide to make food again. And while they're doing that, they're talking about how Laios was able to figure it out. And he named some very specific things that he picked up on when it came to everybody. And while they're talking, they got to reach back for something. What was back there?
Since she makes desserts, and
Yep.
then they're kind of talking about how like it's been a while since they've had desserts. He's like, "Oh, should I make some tea?" And he goes to reach for the tea leaves, and they're gone.
Yeah, and they notice that there is a trail of rice for some reason. They follow that, come around the corner, and the rice is in a cell. And then when they turn back around, I think their name is Asebi? Asabi?
Something like that.
The ninja from Shiro's group, who was left behind, has Marsil and is telling them to drop their weapons and freeze. And I think that's where,
And
like,
that's where it ends.
there's nothing else after that. Yeah, so that's where that ends. It's a really crazy episode of just mayhem. Something I feel like we kind of needed after the last couple episodes. What we think?
Well, I mean, that last thing you said was kind of where my head was at. I was kind of say the last two episodes are so serious.
Yeah.
It was nice to get a nice goofy episode.
Yeah, this is really goofy.
Yeah. And like super fun. Like they had a lot of fun with it, obviously. Being able to draw all those different variations, some of them like being kind of close and other ones just being so completely like, especially the Laioses. With like one of them literally had whatever the opposite of cross-eyed is.
Mm-hmm.
And then the very masculine Marcel
True.
was pretty creepy. And then handsome
Handsome Senshi.
Senshi that when Laios mentioned that he was too handsome and Senshi's usually a little dopey, they basically called him a racist almost.
Oh, because of dwarves, yeah.
Yeah. Which was just funny that they were all like, Senshi's handsome. He's not dopey. What's wrong with you? So, at least...
I love how the whole time they're trying to figure this out, you got just normal Senshi and this handsome Senshi. And everybody's just looking past them. They're both staying quiet, just doing their thing. There's no argument happening between them. And everybody's just like, I can't figure it out. And it's like, it's obvious. And then even with Chilchuck, it's funny because like one of them is very Chilchuck-like, and the other one just kind of had like this baby look to his face.
one was way too like just positive.
Was like eyes were just huge, and he's just like
Yeah.
always just kind of looking around like.
And he's like nice to people and
Yeah.
asking for things, and
The only one that's kind of rough was the two Marcels. But at one point, when they both talked, one of them had a deeper voice.
it
So
was super cynical.
yeah,
Versus, and just like matter of fact versus like Marcel's a little more like questioning of everything constantly. So, but yeah, it was a lot of fun. I like that part a lot. And then the grand plan to essentially have a dog versus dog fight because Laios is not right in the head.
true.
Having the most perfect bark that even his entire group was like, holy crap, it's perfect.
I like how they all just like, what the hell? He's that stupid little bark.
And then,
He's just playing 4D chess.
he went from this is the plan to method acting and decided to try to bite the giant dog or doppelganger. And then as soon as I saw everyone freaking out and Marcel just having a flat face, I was like, she's going to kill it.
Just gotta take care of this, yeah.
So, and then, I just kind of had a scene where she just kind of like pointed, shot, and it was over. I was like, okay, yeah, that,
I like how
needed,
she
that
took the
needed
head
to
off.
happen. Yeah.
It wasn't even like the whole bite; it was just the head.
Yeah. So, super fun episode. And then obviously the cliffhanger with the lingering member of the last party. Be curious to see, obviously, what that conversation is going to turn into because they've approached it with a lot of hostility for wanting to have a conversation.
Yeah.
But, yeah, overall, a lot of fun. And it was needed, for sure, because the last two episodes were pretty dark. So
Yeah. And they're great, but yeah, this one was just pure comedy. The beginning we get some more lore drop, more info, which is always appreciated. But it's kind of an interesting new setting as well with the snow and the blizzard, the setup of extra hands showing up, and I thought it was kind of a fun thing happening. Definitely a funny episode though, from like beginning to end. Just seeing all the different versions of each character was a lot of fun, and just how ridiculous it is that certain ones are overlooking, and then obvious ones they were like, no, that needs to go in there. The couple of different scenes where it was like all of them behind the cell, and they're all just ridiculous looking.
There.
Yeah, I love how like one of the Laos is just like gigantic, and those, I don't know, they're super simple to figure out, but yeah, that was funny. I am really curious about how things are going to go with the ninja person who's left behind, because I don't really know what the point of that was and where it's going. Also, I would be curious to see how they're going to function with them. But this show, when it introduces characters, they come and go quick. So far, no one sticks around longer than like 2 or 3 episodes tops. So, but at the same time, like, what are they going to do? Do they have a scroll to teleport? Like, otherwise, they're just here. So it'll be interesting to see what they do with this character that otherwise we didn't really get a whole lot of info before on. So now that it's just them, we'll see what they want, I guess. But it kind of makes sense for them to want them to drop their weapons, though they're at a disadvantage approaching them by themselves. So it just is definitely a hostile way to start a conversation. And yeah, I also thought, because the show always has food as a main part of it, how the deduction part of the episode was also the cooking part of the episode, so that was fun, even though they had to just remake it instantly. As soon as they're like, we gotta remake the food, I was like, are we getting a whole sequence of that too? But they just jumped and did it. I did want to see them use the leaves for tea though, but they didn't get a chance to do that, because I was curious what they're going to do with the leaves. I was like, they're going to make a salad or something, but it makes sense they would make tea. But yeah, overall, really fun episode. A lot of good humor. I liked the whole deduction. Remind me of like, Among Us, or some of those games where you got to figure out who the killer is. Yeah. So that was a lot of fun, and really curious to see where things go from here, because if there's one thing about the show, it's I never know where it's going. So I just know the characters and they're heading in. So following Fallon's blood trail, which is kind of disturbing. But also Laos was mentioning too, he's worried about the snow washing that away. But
because they're gonna lose their trail.
Yeah, but they did already, because they're in a blizzard, and then they had to figure out this shit. So yeah, really good episode though. Really enjoyed it, and can't wait for the next one. Anything else?
No.
All right, let us know in the comments. What did you guys think of this episode? What were some of the highlights? Something you might have noticed that we didn't discuss in the comments. Please no spoilers, though. We have not read the manga. We have no idea where things are going, so let's keep it that way. It's more fun like that for everybody. And yeah, where do you think things are going? And yeah, stay tuned. We got more reviews coming out. We just did Kaiju number 8, episode 3. So if you're watching that, or you're curious about watching that, check it out. Come back, check out our reviews for that. We've been enjoying it for the most part. We're doing episodic reviews, and I originally wasn't 100% on doing that, so that's a good sign. And then yeah, Sandland at some point we'll get to. I'd like to watch that, and when Demon Slayer starts, we will be watching that for sure. Can't wait to watch that. But yeah, I've been Seth, this has been Chevy, and until the next episode, we will talk to you guys later.